this. Isn't that great? I hope it came through okay. I love the potato versus the, I think they're euros. Yeah. I can't eat healthy. It's too expensive. So, well, we had this long discussion with someone who shall remain unnamed. What's your answer to this?
That's wrong.
That's wrong. Shop carefully, shop sales, and shop the outside aisles of the store.
Yeah.
And, you know,
I would say short term versus long term.
Yeah. And
Short term, sure. Maybe the produce is a little more expensive than Captain Crunch. But that's just short term. Long
because
term, no.
the vegetable will keep you fuller longer than the cereal will.
Also, you got to keep your medical bills down.
Yes.
And
I
that-
mean,
that's-
you know,
that's the
we don't
long
all
term.
live with this great insurance. We have really, my husband works for a fine company, but we have like $6,000 for a family deductible, which is ridiculous when they dock, see how much it gets docked. So no, it's significantly cheaper for me to explore alternatives than not. Okay. And then just this, and what's the cost if you feel bad? What's the cost if you feel poorly? It's pretty high. So, okay. So I'm glad we don't have to preach the choir. Glad you guys got that, but I thought that was a really cool picture. All right. So what I'd like to do is just kind of talk about the pros and cons of popular diets.
I read really fast.
You do. Which one did you get to?
You know which one I read? I read
Trim
Trim Healthy
Healthy.
Mama
Of course.
because that is a plan that I'm more or less following, but I'm laughing at the strange ingredients, food doesn't taste great, and then it's complicated.
Oh,
And I
so
think
true.
I think it can be. I'm not gonna lie. I think
Right.
it
It can be very
But I
complicated.
think there's also ways to do it
Exactly.
really simple.
Like when I did it, I
And-
just forgot their carbs. I just did straight no carbs.
Now, see, there's, like you're talking about, there are certain things that they have offer
Yeah.
bread-wise that I actually like.
Right.
So,
Oh, I would like
I
a
don't-
list of those.
I don't know that anyone else in my house likes them, but that's okay. They don't have to eat it.
Right.
I'm the
Right.
one who's concerned with them.
I mean, I have actually heard these complaints about this diet.
Okay.
You know?
I don't think the Trim Healthy Mama would be for like a brand new to like trying to meal plan. My girlfriend like shows me, I was like, no, too many meat. Like I'm not, but she's doing it, living by it, because she's got a teenage daughter who is now like in the kitchen with her, and they love it together. But she's also
really-
always done.
It really
Food
did a
prepping
lot to
plan.
get people thinking.
Oh,
it
absolutely.
really,
Yes,
really,
I think
really
it
did
kind
a
of
lot.
exploded, and people are really
It
like,
went,
oh,
oh.
coconut oil is good.
Oh.
Almond
Yeah,
flour is
it
okay.
broke down a lot of barriers. So it was really good.
It got me outside the box.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because of, okay, you
Yes.
have to have noodles with spaghetti. No, you don't. How about let's just make a zucchini noodle or
Yeah.
cauliflower or,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Have Greenfield's low carb pasta,
Yeah.
which I don't eat all
Right.
weekly, but
I haven't had zucchini bean pasta that I'm getting ready to try.
I do have.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll have to report back on
Yes, I
that.
will. It looked good. Yeah.
Because I would.
So let's go through these. So paleo, you guys, are you familiar with what paleo? Paleo is a high protein, no processed foods. So it's very high protein. Like they don't care how much protein you have. You may wrap bacon around whatever you want to wrap bacon around and just eat it. That's paleo, but no. Don't ask me how you count bacon with no processed foods. But anyway, don't ask. But it people. I mean, I know a lady that she lost over 100 pounds just to switch into paleo. So, and they do just use normal, everyday foods. And there's some cookbooks, and you can Google search, and there's some great recipes. I mean, there's some paleo bread, you know, which is always going to be very egg heavy.
I thought that they really stayed away from nuts and stuff like
I
that.
thought corn and stuff too. Is that like
Yeah, but then, like, they don't allow like beans.
ever?
Right, that's
Like,
so, how
really?
is that? No.
What is wrong?
Beans are protein.
Beans are very, that's what I'm saying. That's the con. Okay, the top line is the pros, the bottom line is the cons. So that is the con of paleo. Why on earth you don't allow beans?
So
Okay.
when they say bean, do they also mean, because I know that not everybody concept of peanuts are not a bean. So do they allow peanuts and peanut butter?
I think they prefer almonds and almond butter, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anyway, there is this emphasis on meat that's
They
perhaps
do have an
exaggerated.
anti-peanut kind of thing going on.
Perhaps exaggerated, and the overemphasis on eggs and fats of any variety is perhaps over-exaggerated, though they will, steer you towards coconut and all. And not on meat, it's kind of weird. From Healthy Mama, we talked about. Mediterranean is more normal food, it tastes good, it's well accepted, even in the medical community. If you Google on a healthy diet, they're gonna pop you up as eat Mediterranean, it's better for you. Mediterraneans live longer, they do this, that. But there's no emphasis on avoiding the processed carbohydrates. You know what I mean? They're just telling you how to have less of them. So there's no real. So those to me are the pros and cons of the main thing. So where I tend to put my emphasis, sort of, Cornell University, Dr. Colin Campbell, who wrote the China Study, which is a very interesting book. And there's a cookbook with it that has nice recipes. But anyway, they have a whole plant-based diet they go along with. And they do tend to be, well, they're exceedingly vegan. Exceedingly strict vegan. So if you're going to Google whole plant-based diet, you're going to come up with the vegan aspect, which is not exactly where I want to be either. So anyway, so pure vegans actually have some health issues. If you Google, like, if you've been a vegan, if people have been vegan all their lives, there are some blood anomalies. There's a new study about getting cavities, perhaps not. Anyway, there are a few drawbacks to being.
And they're going to deny all of that.
Oh, yeah.
They will fight you tooth and nail and deny it.
Yeah. But I ran into a lady that's been a vegan the last 30 years. She goes, when I've talked to all my vegan friends and all of our teeth are falling out. And I'm like, really? Now go figure. And they're not vegans that are eating like bars that say vegan. These are vegans that are eating like plants. They're eating real food. Anyway, so
So why is your teeth health so poor? What are they not
well,
getting?
teeth is an easy thing to pull from. Do you know what I mean? When your body's missing a nutrient and it wants to pull the nutrients from somewhere,
Teeth go first,
teeth are
like
pretty,
with pregnancy.
teeth are pretty optional.
Well, and calcium,
Yeah,
so
so
the
they tell
vegan
my children
having
it's all their fault.
Yes,
literally no dairy,
absolutely.
I have to remember, like, with people, like, that's.
I mean, you gotta eat a
with
couple
my
times.
kids, like, I have to, like, I'm just like, you've been drinking, they're not gonna eat enough greens right now. They're,
Yeah, 2
so,
cups
like,
of
I
broccoli
feel
or
like
something, yeah.
growing little boys are gonna get
Yeah.
calcium they need it all.
Yeah. I mean, there's calcium in plants, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's more readily available calcium in plants. There's calcium in herbs. But anyway,
You have to have the intake to support it.
you have to be very diligent.
I
So-
wonder about how many, like, true vegans also, the less you eat, the less you need to eat. But I wonder at what point you're eating so little,
That you
maybe,
can't.
that you can't.
Yeah, that's true.
And
If
then
you're
you're
super
really
skinny,
not
yeah.
getting those nutrients.
Like a
that you
malnutrition
need.
thing going
Yes.
on.
Yeah, without even realizing.
I mean, that's really what pops up in lifelong vegans is some blood work that's all out of whack. But anyway, so that's the drawback. But indeed, a plant-based diet prevents diabetes, high blood pressure, contributes to your healthy heart. And this all came from a U.S. News and World Report article. So I'm not pulling from the hat outside of mainstream for you. The higher fiber, and it's been shown to help vision too, which I thought was very interesting. And then here's this consumer report thing. This is kind of long, but if you Google consumer reports and diet plans and plant-based diet, it reduces the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain cancers. It can even lengthen your life. Anyway, and then this doctor from University of Massachusetts says flexitarians who make plant foods the star of their diet with a little meat or a little fish or a little dairy or a leg are healthier than frequent meat eaters. So you're healthier than people that eat tons of meat. But basically, you're putting all those nutrients in your body in the form of plants to counteract any other thing. And I like this because diet is a continuum, and it's that road like we were talking about. But the more you fully embrace the whole foods, plant-based diet, those have the best outcomes. So then they did a study that 70% plants and 20% diet lowered your risk of dying from heart disease. In the China study, Dr. Colin Campbell, what he found was that at 90% plants, you reversed diseases. And he's a research scientist, so this was all in mice and rats and all, in generations and all that stuff. But at a 90% plant-based diet, disease is reversed. And the step he took from there was to go completely vegan. But when I read the book and I went back and read his research, I thought, well, the step I take from there is it's 90.
Yeah, if I can go get to 90%, then
Yeah.
So, I mean, here he's, so here they're saying 70 has lower risks, but then there's this other body of research that says 90 reverses things. Less meats, more plants, and inflammatory diseases.
when you say plants, do you include berries in
Oh,
that?
absolutely. Absolutely. Berries are like
It
superfoods.
grows on a plant.
So this is all still Consumer Reports on how to make this switch. So this was their idea. Increase your fruit, vegetable. Redesign your plate. I'll talk about that in a little bit later. Pick the healthiest meats. So, they're talking about hot dogs and bacon and carcinogenic and increase your cancer rate by 18%. We've got leads on, grass-fed beef, grass-fed pork. I've got leads on all that stuff. I know all these people that do that stuff. So, have known what your animal ate and how it's processed, and you can eliminate a whole lot. A whole lot. And then, they're just saying, you can start with your meatless Monday. Okay. So, I actually have to ask your permission to tell you what I think. So I can tell you what I think all day long, but if you want to hear it, it's an entirely different issue.
We're gonna raise our hands.
We could take a break and you can leave if you don't want to hear me. You want to do
I
that?
want to hear it. Are you really gonna ask us?
I really don't want
be
to
here
bore
if we
you.
didn't
I
wanna
wouldn't
hear
want to bore you. I don't want to force myself on you. But it's what I call the non-denominational diet, which you guys get. So every denomination has its little flaw, just like every diet has its little flaw. And so to me, this is giving you the grace to not eliminate your absolutely favorite food, but still getting you healthier in the process. It's just adjusting your percentages, and that 90-10, that's the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You're gonna be on this long pathway to get there. You know what I mean? It's really hard for people to make it there instantaneously. I've got 2 people I'm working with, and I'm like, one just got an allergy testing and came up allergic to the dog, the one that sleeps on her bed, corn, wheat, soy, dairy, and there was something else. So she comes to me with this. She's also very low in vitamin D, because she's working inside now and not outside like she used to be. Anyway, so she's in boot camp. So I've got 2 friends in boot camp. Anyway, so my emphasis is take everything you've heard about diet and just kind of throw it back there. I told you the thing last week. If it grew on a plant, eat it. If it was processed in a plant, just save your treats and your animal proteins and the stuff you love, and work towards this pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Okay, so this was it's a kid's version of myhealth.gov. So I really like the half fruits and vegetables, like great. You know, your meat portion is the size of your palm. Fine. Quarter of your life in carbohydrates, not so much. You know, so that's theirs. Then this is a plant-based nutritionist. And I thought this one was interesting. It's much prettier on the screen. So lots of vegetables, lots of that high-fat whole foods, your avocados, your nuts, your green vegetables, your fruit, the legumes, that's again going to give you protein there. Temporarily, I'm not so crazy about the whole grains until you get to where you want to be. Once you're where you want to be, then add your brown rice and add your, you know what I mean? Once you are where you want to be.
I usually only do a grain in one meal a day, right now.
Yeah.
I mean now, if I'm thinking this,
Right.
you know, I'm not like obviously all my cheat, like all that, but if I'm thinking like if we're like doing a meal plan for the week, like one of our meals is what's gonna have our grain in it right now.
Right.
Bob, on the other hand, like if he is more likely sometimes to do like bread, like a sandwich
Oh, yeah.
or a wrap, whereas I usually will just do a salad, so he'll get it with me, but he also is much more athletic and needs that right now, so.
And everybody's effect is so different. I mean, you know, I'm married to tall and skinny. He eat whatever he wants. It's ridiculous.
I would say too that it has been ingrained in us
It's been ingrained in you.
that we need that carb for every meal, like that potato or the rice or whatever. And one day I was just looking at my plate and I thought, why do I even have that on? I mean, it's just a filler to me because I'd rather have more salad or
It's a filler food.
a little bit more of the protein.
And they say you need it for energy, but there's plenty of energy building things in these other things.
Exactly. So
And I mean, and I am not against white potatoes at all. I mean, I grow them. I'm not against them. Except, like, if you're diabetic at this point, we need to get you where you need to be before you have bananas and potatoes and some of those, you know, some of those other starchy things that are more natural. But I'm not against corn,
It is hard to take
but I grow it myself. You
out
know,
of your, it's so hard to take it out.
it's so
And like,
cultural.
like having a smoothie for breakfast and having a salad for lunch is like no big deal to me anymore.
Right.
But when I have a snack after work or I have dinner, like that is like going to be like very much so, like habitually, even when I'm looking for our recipes, like it's going to be included because it is such like a
It's
needing,
so
like
cultural.
like
It
you
is.
know.
It's so cultural. We're so used to it.
Look up soup recipes and alongside is the directions for the croutons. They're supposed to go along with the soup or something. You're just like, oh.
Yeah. Serve with your favorite bread.
Yeah.
So anyway, so how do you think of your plate? So you think of your plate, you divide it in half, and divide that other quarter, you know, half again, and then one more time, and that's a 12%. Does that make sense? Do the math whiz.
I'm not, but I'm married to one, so I'll just go on this.
So, you know, you take your pie chart, half again, and then take one of those quarters and cut it in half. And
Is that an
12.5.
8?
It's 12.5%.
approximate.
So, what does this look like? Vegetables cooked or raw, I don't care. You know what I mean? Some vegetables taste a whole lot better cooked than they taste raw. Some vegetables go either way.
And you can kill them, right?
Yeah, don't kill them.
I mean, a lot of
Don't put them on before you go to church and come back 3 hours later with that broccoli. Yeah.
I mean, cooking them, does that depletes?
Boiling them in water depletes. Stir frying them in a little olive oil does not
Okay.
deplete. Steaming them does not deplete. You know, you got a little steamer basket. That's nice and handy.
Roasting.
Water.
Roasting. Roasting.
I roast everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
My vegetables the other night were really good though.
I'm good.
Even the eggplant that they were fighting over.
Goodness.
I know, I live with work.
So again, fruits, if you're diabetic, you need to stick to the berries and the apples and the pears, the less glycemic load. And you know, you can look up glycemic loads on things. Nuts
So
and
how
seeds.
bad is a half a banana?
Half a banana is pretty high. You're better
A
off with
small
an apple.
banana. It's about like
Pear.
that. Okay, but it's with other fruits.
Okay, so what I'm telling this diabetic is every time she eats, she needs a protein with it. If she's going to eat an apple, she needs to eat peanut
Okay, if
butter.
there was protein with it. I won't tell you what the protein was because it was deli meat, but there was, but there was berries and spinach and a banana
Mixed with,
and cucumber.
all mixed in.
Yeah. that was just-
I'm just saying, be aware
Okay.
that bananas are higher. Your lower glycemic loads are your blueberries, your strawberries, apples, and your pears.
Okay. All right.
Those are your, and you can Google glycemic load, not just the index, it's the load that really tells you what you need to know.
Is it true to, it's better to like do your sugars, like your fruit, like that, if you're gonna do the, like in the morning? Then, or does that not make any difference when you're like dealing with it on that like kind of scale, when you're dealing with like the glycemic index part of it and all of that? It doesn't matter. Okay, why is it said to do it in the morning?
Is that for diabetics?
I don't know, I don't know,
I think that it is because I know that my mother-in-law, if she has fruit at all in the day, she has it in the morning. And she won't eat it like pretty much.
Probably because they get to the insulin resistance so bad that if they eat it at night and then go to sleep, the pancreas is not able to keep up. That would be my guess. Because, I mean, really, diabetes is insulin resistance. There's a real issue that has gone on. The damage has happened. There's an issue now. Anyways, so nut milks and yogurts. And someone who will remain unmentioned didn't realize that almond milk was not a dairy product. So I add this to tell you that almond milk is totally fine. If you have gallbladder issues, you might not want to inhale too much of it, but because you'll feel it later. Especially if you're eating peanuts and nuts and almonds and you know what I mean. If you bump up I'm a little gallbladder sensitive, so we're gonna watch it. But anyway, juices break down the fiber. You juice your fruit, breaks down the fiber, makes the sugar more readily available. The fiber is what slows the sugars down. So juices are generally not as recommended. Careful your sugars, your oils. So we've done all that before. Okay. I do have some handouts.
I noticed you didn't have carbs on there. Would that be with the sugars?
Okay. Carbs just are not your friend until you get to be where you want to be. Then add your healthy whole grain.
Which I know because of Trim Healthy Mama, what my healthy whole grain.
Yes. And like I like wild rice. So if I'm having a rice, I'm having how short your recipes are.
This is awesome. This is what I came here for, some recipes.
This is what
Right,
you want.
so these are I'm missing Virginia. So this is for your mom.
Oh, yeah.
I think your mom has most of them
Probably
already.
does at some point.
What do chia seeds taste like? I know like
They don't taste like
They just get
it.
stuck in your teeth.
No, but they are definitely,
And
if
there's-
you're gonna have them in that form, like if you're gonna have them
I'm looking at
in
the
like a
refrigerator.
pudding,
Yeah.
they expand a little and they're like definitely like a seedy thing that gets in your mouth or your teeth. But if you put them into like a drink or a smoothie, they're not gonna bother you at all. Especially if you're having like anything with berries in it, they just kind of go with the seeds that are in the berries. Like it's really like having
I
berries.
made the avocado pudding once. That was really good.
It's really good.
That is
you
good.
can't taste the avocado. Avocado really doesn't have any flavor. It just brings flavor, like kind of like salt. It just brings flavor to whatever you're eating, and it made the smoothest, creamiest pudding.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Cake in the mug made the
great.
cut.
Yeah, Beth contributed a recipe on here. Okay, so breakfast. My only problem with breakfast is the hour at which it occurs. It's tough for me, and so I've gone from, I'm not a huge oatmeal person. It's a childhood hangover. When we ran out of dog food, we'd feed them oatmeal, and I had to clean up the can. Don't ask me why. I'm 53 years old and can't get over that. But anyway, you can jazz up the oatmeal a lot. You can do it at night. You can cook it in the morning, however you want. This paleo English muffin, basically I mix it in a microwave safe bowl, cook it at 70% for 2 minutes, and then you slice it in half, and you do have to toast it. Now it's not going to taste exactly like an English muffin. Don't go to your spouse, this tastes just like an English muffin. No. They'll be like, get that weird food out of my life, and what have you been taking? No. But if you want something to put crunchy, to put butter, and a little honey on in the morning.
It works.
It works to a highly motivated person. The rest of your family, not so much. Now I have gotten them on the this grain-free waffles. Oh, I didn't include one. Oh yeah, I've got a
Never
gluten-free
even heard of
pancake mix.
garbanzo bean flour. Did not know that was a thing.
That is awesome because
Yeah.
number one, it's cheaper than the rest of those flours because it's not in the paleo diet, so the demand is less,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. It's like one of my favorite alternative flours
Where do you
because
get
you don't
that?
taste it. So I get it at Martin's here in town.
Right here?
Yeah,
Okay.
Mark's has it.
Yeah, it's like $3 something a bag, which for alternative flours is
Very
pretty
affordable.
nice.
Yeah.
There's always Amazon anyway. So that's how you make a whole waffle if you want the whole waffle thing. And then this pumpkin sweet potato pancake, this was my first iteration. So I took one fork, scooped up. See, I am such a minimalist, okay? Here, this is the epitome of minimalist. One fork, one bowl, one pan. Fork, scoop out the coconut oil, put it in the pan. Take the sweet potato, mash it up, put the egg in, whip it up. Sprinkle salt and pepper, plop it in. That's my and then it's not going to be good later.
It's not.
It's not
Yeah.
going to be good later.
You have to eat it when
It's
it comes
then.
out.
It's
But it's delicious.
it's good if you eat it right then. It's fine.
Does
And
it
actually-
taste very much like sweet potato?
I usually do the pumpkin, and it has a little pumpkin taste, but it's no worse
That I can
than
deal
like,
with. I really want to eat sweet potatoes, and I'm pretty much at this point of giving up on the fact that I'm just never going to like them.
They're just not your friend.
Cannot do it. I've tried it in every form, fashion, and way. I
You're
can't
allowed
eat
to have no
fries.
vegetable. You're allowed to have no vegetable. You're a
well,
grown up now. You can do that.
But I really want to eat sweet potatoes. They're so good for you. And she loves them, but I'm just like, ugh. The pumpkin I can do though.
Yeah, whatever.
yeah.
And then this is our pancake mix that we do every Sunday morning. I do dry milk in it just because it boosts up the protein content. You wouldn't have to. You could make it with instead of water, you could put an almond or coconut milk in there instead and not do the dry milk. That's certainly. But this just goes just like regular pancakes. It's like I made the switch over and the pancake maker in the house never knew. So now so I had a friend that went to Ireland and put on Facebook that he was really sick of eating beans for breakfast. And that really got me thinking, what is an Irish breakfast? Like, what are they eating? How could you get sick? What do you mean beans for breakfast? Literally, they serve beans for breakfast in all of the UK. In the vast majority of the world, they have beans for breakfast. Asian, they have rice for breakfast. I mean, it's not our standard American breakfast, but this is what the vast majority of the world lives on is beans for breakfast. Now, I wouldn't go whole. Some of these things you have to do slowly too, ladies. Just saying. So since then, I really did some research on what other breakfasts were, and I came up with, so I can eat curried lentils for breakfast. I'll eat fried apples and onions. I'll eat fried potatoes and onions. I'll eat fried potatoes, onions, apples, peppers, go-grow with a little bit of bacon bits on it or just a little sausage, you know. But the vast majority, if you can get a vegetable in at breakfast, you've got a huge jump on your vegetable quota. And it is thinking outside the box completely. Other people in my family don't want to join me in that.
They don't want to eat curry lentils.
Yeah,
Not for breakfast.
they're so good. Just-
Okay, but they don't want to eat them for breakfast. That's
No,
what
they
I'm-
don't want to eat them for breakfast. Okay, snack ideas. I'm a huge snacker, like every 2 hours. So vegetables with hummus or peanut butter or almond butter, whatever you like. The chia pudding, and you can, chia seeds, the nut milk, a little vanilla, a little bit of maple syrup. Shake it, let it sit for at least an hour, or thin it down with more nut milk and have it as a shake. Avocado, eat one or make it into the pudding.
How long, when you say the chia pudding can be well ahead of time, is that like a few days?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, basically,
Not like
This-
that day,
yeah.
by the evening.
well, yeah, just a few hours. You need just a couple hours.
But I mean, like, if I made it on like a Monday, it'll be good still till Friday.
Thursday,
Yeah.
Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, if you make all the food ahead, yeah. I mean, it's not, it's whatever, nut milk, it isn't like it's gonna go bad like dairy milk, you know? So the berries, smoothies, there's that whole world out there. Here's the nut milk, chia seeds, flax seeds, and fruit berries. You know, when we were young, we all threw raw egg in ours. And if you Google it now, they'll tell you to put vegetable oil in to get the emulsion in. I'm like, oh, you would put soybean oil in. Oh, I'm gonna be sick now. Give me a raw egg over that any day.
What
But
are
you
you
can do
putting-
crazy stuff like you could do cream of tartar,
What are you putting that in?
a shake.
Oh, a
smoothie.
shake, okay.
Shake smoothie. You know, I think Terminal Mama has some thickening stuff they do too.
Glucomanone.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Seeds and nuts, just use the portion control. You know, if you're not diabetic, you can mix it with raisins, craisins, whatever. And the sugar cravings, I started with dates. And so when I'd have those sugar cravings hit, I could, no matter how slow I ate those dates, I would go through about 6 or 8 before I could begin to touch the sugar craving. And now, you know, like a year later, I can do 1 to 3. It's like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And I can actually do a craisin. I'm like, okay, fine. So lunch ideas, salads. Any salad you want. Just your salad dressings, most of them have soybean oil. I think we talked about that before. So you can olive oil on it. You can make up your own dressings. Soup, any homemade soup, pretty much. Endless variety. We talked about the avocado with the salsa inside, any leftovers. Dinner ideas, you can Google. There's just so much. There's just so much. Are you having a hard time with dinners? Do I need to elaborate on dinners? Dinner's the hardest. They just happen and you have to deal with it, right? Sometimes they sneak up on you.
There are people in the house who want to eat food.
I know.
Crazy.
Consciously.
It's like there's 5
So
adults
every
in this
day.
house.
Many times a day.
And why is it I'm always the one
Oh,
that ends up
no.
having to cook it?
I'm only making dinner.
Okay.
But there's so many
They're
There
on
other
their
are
own.
older people, they are on
Yes.
their own for breakfast
They
and
are.
lunch.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah.
They can cook.
Definitely. Definitely. So anyway, if you want to, you know, think about your smaller portion of meat and just substituting instead of having, you know, that carb, throw another vegetable in there or an extra salad or, you know, whatever.
Did you hear that weird little like
Something's
crickety?
talking
Was it
to me.
okay, I heard like a crickety like.
It's like coming out of here. There's
Jiminy.
voices. Oh, anyway, okay, so dessert. Finish this up. Okay, so there's a date nut crust there that is amazing with just dates and nuts and fruit, process them. Then you can make this banana chocolate pie to go on top of it. The chocolate cake in a mug is actually Beth's recipe. The chocolate recipe is a freezer chocolate, but that's how you make your own healthy chocolate.
Question.
Yes.
So the maple syrup, that's not what you buy off the shelf in Walmart or wherever. That maple syrup is real maple syrup.
Oh, it's not something that isn't 100% maple syrup. No, it's not corn syrup. It's
Right.
maple syrup.
Right.
It is.
The real deal.
Get the real
Now, what do you
stuff.
have to, like, I know, you know, we know what some of these terms do, but when you are looking for stuff like that, like, do they have, like, the legalizations on those? Like, if it says 100% pure maple syrup, does it have to really be that?
Yes.
Because, you know, natural
Yes.
versus organic, like, all that
Yeah,
weird
yeah, yeah.
stuff. people
No,
don't
no,
know.
it has to be. I mean, the ingredients,
Okay.
when you turn it over, should
Should
say
just be
maple syrup.
I always just
Yeah.
trusted it. I've never really thought to question that. My kids don't want to eat regular syrup anymore.
That's awesome.
Like I actually had a bottle still in the bottom shelf of the fridge, and I made them waffles like a week ago, and they were like, "Dad just bought more maple syrup." I was like, "We're out," and they were like, "No, Dad just bought some." I was like, I'm putting this on your plate." They like had a fit about it, and I didn't put enough, so I went. And sure enough, Dad had bought them there, but that they don't like it. They're like, "We don't like that. It's not the same."
That's good.
Good.
That's good.
Yeah, it's flavored corn syrup.
Good job, because I have at least 1 or 2 holdouts at my house. So, when you
I
say-
actually took a long, I didn't like maple syrup when I first got
Me either.
married. People want to like this is thin and like very weirdly sweet. I wanted like the butter flavor, like
Right, yes.
nasty stuff. Now I don't really use syrup at all. I eat applesauce, but
Yeah, that's a great solution too. Yeah, we used to eat applesauce. And then there's this standard raw walnut brownie thing, which it's not gonna rise any, so it's not, you know what I mean?
Cakey.
It's gonna stay flat. It's the size it is. It's raw. It doesn't cook. It stays flat. I get it from
Okay,
the
so
farm.
when you were using cocoa powder, because that is so not gonna fly.
Hershey's
like-
dark. Hershey's
Hershey's
dark
dark
is
is fine.
nice.
What about regular Hershey's?
That's also fine.
It's fine.
I mean,
You're in the process of changing people's taste buds.
okay.
Their taste buds.
Yeah, but we do really like good chocolate, so, and that's.
Well,
so I was
start
just
half
curious.
and half.
Huh,
Start adding a little bit of the other stuff in. That's how I used to.
the raw,
Yeah. Just
Half
kind
and
of
half it.
half and half it, or your dark, or whatever. You know, just start by doing quarter of it, and then a half, and then they get. You know,
That's
it's
how I
the
did
frog
the
in the
wheat
water.
noodles.
That's what you're gonna do to your family. The frog in the water.
Boil.
I just want to clarify on the recipe with the chocolate. It says melt half a cup of coconut oil. So you measure out solid coconut oil, half cup, then you melt it. Not melt it and then measure out half a cup.
Right. Right.
Good, okay.
My recipes all tend to be rather casual, so there may be inherent errors because I'm rather casual. Except in Beth's chocolate cake in a mug. That's a real recipe.